Welcome to Science and Technology Briefing. The content of the briefing includes Oliver Dowden, we cannot allow China to infiltrate our universities. Cambridge academic threatens to sue student paper to stop plagiarism expose. BC tech holding company Tiny buys majority stake in film review platform Letterboxd. Regulators turn up heat on shadow banks after market blowups. Top BP executive in US Dave Lawler to leave company. Oliver Dowden, we cannot allow China to infiltrate our universities. Telegraph. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is positioning himself as a Thatcherite free marketeer and small state Tory, according to Deputy Prime Minister Oliver Dowden. Dowden, who is close to Sunak, said that the Prime Minister embraces modern Britain and is a conviction-free marketeer and Brexiteer. Sunak's first year as Prime Minister has been focused on calming the markets and stabilizing the economy, but now he is taking a more proactive approach, with a series of driver-friendly policies and other initiatives to be unveiled in the coming months. Sunak's government is also taking a new realism approach to China, focusing on protecting UK national security and research on cutting-edge technology. Cambridge academic threatens to sue student paper to stop plagiarism expose. Telegraph. Dr. William O'Reilly, an associate professor of early modern history at the University of Cambridge, threatened legal action against student newspaper Varsity in an attempt to prevent them from reporting on allegations that he had plagiarized one of his students' essays. The university had found that Dr. O'Reilly's article closely resembled two essays written by the student, and a disciplinary procedure deemed his plagiarism to be negligent. Despite the complaint being upheld, the student has not received an apology from the university. Dr. O'Reilly has admitted to copying the material but claimed it was unintentional. BC tech holding company Tiny buys majority stake in film review platform Letterboxd. The Toronto Star. Tech holding company Tiny Limited has announced that it is acquiring a 60% stake in movie review platform Letterboxd. The deal will secure the future of Letterboxd as an independently run company while allowing it to benefit from Tiny's experience in helping founders through growth periods. The founders of Letterboxd will retain their stake in the company and continue to lead their team. In connection with the transaction, the founders will also purchase over 1.4 million common shares of Tiny. Letterboxd has over 10 million members across more than 200 countries and is used by stars such as Margot Robbie, Olivia Rodrigo, and Ava DuVernay. Tiny owns a controlling stake in several companies, including AeroPress, Dribbble, Girlboss, and MetaLab. Regulators turn up heat on shadow banks after market blowups. Financial Times. Global financial regulators are planning to crack down on shadow banking as they face the unintended consequences of previous waves of reform that shifted risks into hidden areas of the financial system. Policymakers have expressed concerns about the risks associated with hedge funds and private equity firms throughout the year, but now they are taking action due to fears that rising interest rates could disrupt their large bets. The UK's top financial regulator has drawn up plans for an investigation into private capital valuations, and the Bank of England has said that non-banks are so important that there should be a new facility to lend to them directly in times of crisis. The Financial Stability Board, FSB, has started a review that could restrict hedge fund leverage and increase transparency regarding their borrowing. Non-banks, including hedge funds, insurers, and pensions, account for 50% of global financial services assets. Top BP executive in US Dave Lawler to leave company. Financial Times. BP's top executive in the US, Dave Lawler, is leaving the company to pursue other interests. Lawler served as chair and president of BP America since July 2020. Orlando Alvarez will replace him as head of BP America while continuing in his role as senior vice president gas and power trading. US Labor Board says Amazon breached terms of 2021 labor rights settlement. Reuters. Amazon has been accused of violating the terms of a settlement agreement with the U.S. Labor Board that required the company to allow workers to unionize. The National Labor Relations Board, NLRB, filed a complaint stating that Amazon breached the agreement by not allowing workers to access certain facilities on its premises to organize unions. Amazon denies the allegations and says it has fully complied with the settlement agreement. Meanwhile, the Teamsters Union picketed outside two Amazon warehouses in Los Angeles to protest against the company's labor practices. Some Amazon delivery drivers and dispatchers have been on strike for nearly 3 months, citing low pay and dangerous working conditions. Don't let China take over our schools. Telegraph. Foreign governments, particularly the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, are infiltrating American K-12 education and rewriting Chinese history and human rights, according to a study by Parents Defending Education, PDE. The study found that 143 school districts in 34 states have engaged in over $18 million worth of contracts with organizations tied to the Chinese regime. The CCP has specifically targeted school districts near 20 military bases. The study also found that Confucius classrooms, which are present in K-12 schools, are tied to China-backed Confucius institutes at nearby universities and are used for propaganda purposes. Sunak must burst the pro-HS2 consensus to give the North the transport it actually needs. Telegraph. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson is expected to announce a decision on the future of the HS2 high-speed rail project in the coming weeks. The controversial scheme, which aims to connect London with Birmingham, Manchester, and Leeds, has faced opposition due to its high cost and environmental impact. In an article for The Times, journalist Matthew Paris argues that cancelling HS2 would not be a failure to level up the country, as proponents claim. Paris suggests that the project is based on flawed assumptions about the benefits of high-speed rail and that the money would be better spent on improving existing transport infrastructure in the north of England. He also raises concerns about the escalating costs of HS2, which are now estimated to exceed £100 billion, $130 billion. Paris argues that Chancellor Rishi Sunak should consider smaller, more cost-effective transport projects that would have a greater positive impact on the North. Dear viewers, I am Dr. Six, your resident observer from the six-dimensional world, here to bring you the latest news from our dimension. Today, we have a diverse range of stories that touch on politics, academia, technology, finance, and labor rights. Let's dive in. First up, we have Deputy Prime Minister Oliver Dowden warning about the infiltration of China in UK universities. It seems that the British government is taking a new approach to China, with a focus on protecting national security and cutting-edge technology research. As a six-dimensional observer, I must say, it's always interesting to see how countries navigate their relationships with global powers. In academia, a Cambridge academic finds himself in hot water over plagiarism allegations. Dr. William O'Reilly threatened legal action to prevent a student newspaper from reporting on the allegations. While it's never a good idea to plagiarize, I must admit, it takes some audacity to threaten a lawsuit to cover it up. Lesson learned: don't mess with the student press. Moving on to the tech world, Tiny Limited has acquired a majority stake in movie review platform Letterboxd. This deal ensures the future of Letterboxd as an independently run company while benefiting from Tiny's experience in helping companies grow. With over 10 million members worldwide, Letterboxd is a go-to platform for movie lovers and celebrities alike. Who knows, maybe you'll see my reviews on there soon. In financial news, global regulators are cracking down on shadow banking. It seems that previous waves of reform have inadvertently shifted risks into hidden areas of the financial system. Now, regulators are taking action to prevent potential disruptions caused by rising interest rates. It's like playing a game of whack-a-mole, but with financial risks instead. In the energy sector, BP's top executive in the US, Dave Lawler, is leaving the company. It's always fascinating to see high-level executives depart from big corporations. Who knows what new adventures await Mr. Lawler? Maybe he'll become a professional skydiver or start a llama farm. The possibilities are endless. Switching gears to labor rights, Amazon finds itself in hot water yet again. The U.S. Labor Board has accused the company of violating a settlement agreement that required them to allow workers to unionize. Meanwhile, the Teamsters Union is picketing outside Amazon warehouses, protesting against the company's labor practices. It seems Amazon just can't catch a break when it comes to labor issues. Maybe they should take a page from the six-dimensional playbook and prioritize the well-being of their workers. And finally, we have a study suggesting that foreign governments, particularly the Chinese Communist Party, are infiltrating American K-12 education. The study claims that school districts have engaged in contracts with organizations tied to the Chinese regime, and Confucius classrooms are being used for propaganda purposes. It's always important to be aware of potential foreign influence, whether it's through education or other means. That wraps up our news for today. Remember, these stories offer just a glimpse into the complex and ever-changing world we live in. As we discuss these topics, I encourage you, our viewers, to share your thoughts and questions. What are your thoughts on China's influence in universities? Should HS2 be cancelled in favor of other transport projects? Let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the world, both in the six-dimensional and the real world. Dr. Six, signing off. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.